reader, all you need is two things. You need to have word knowledge. Okay, so you have to have vocabulary. You need to have word knowledge. You need to be able to decode the word. You need to know what the meaning of the word. You have to have the word knowledge, and then you have to have the world knowledge with an L. So you may have word knowledge, but if you do not have the word knowledge, how it is used, then you still may not be able to understand. Knowing the subject matter makes a good reader. So you have to read widely so that you can understand. And this is true not only for baseball, you can add cricket or any other subject. And so really general knowledge is very high, fairly decent correlation with reading comprehension test scores. You should also develop the word knowledge. And I'm going to talk about one sentence more later on, I think. What percentage of class time in the US, first grade, is spent on teaching social studies? This is grade 1.
2%.
What about science? Science also about 5%. And language arts, we spend more time on language arts. First grade, 62%. And grade 3, 40%. I don't have the data to provide more reading background knowledge also. So vocabulary, I think, as I mentioned, is the best predictor. Increasing vocabulary is the best predictor of one's intelligence. And if you do not understand the meaning of the word, it's very unlikely that you would understand the meaning of the passage. So it is highly correlated with comprehension. And as we saw in the last 2 days, yesterday and today, that it has to be explicit and reading and discussing more. And we also showed that you don't have to spend the same amount of time in all the words. Remember, there are 3 tier words, 3 kinds. The tier 1, you don't have to spend too much time because they are like run, sit, bench, and so on. And also tier 3 words like metamorphosis, and so you don't have to spend much time, but you have to spend more time on tier 2 words. And again, there is no hard and fast rule on which ones are tier 1 and which ones are tier 2 and which ones are tier 3. It depends on the background of children. We have presented morphological awareness, especially knowing the Latin roots. Remember, 60% of English words are Latin-based, and the Latin roots, multiple exposure, morphological awareness. More, remember, they're improving the word knowledge, and they read more, they enjoy it, it makes sense, so it is upward cycle. So they read more, they become better readers. But those with problems in basic foundational skills, they have hard time developing vocabulary, and when they do not have enough vocabulary, it is hard to read and understand because they do not have the knowledge to understand, and so it becomes a chore, it becomes a meaningless activity. And as we all know, something that is meaningless, we do less of it. It does not derive any pleasure, so that is the downward cycle, downward spiral. They become poor readers. And logical awareness is important, but in addition to that, you also have to morphemes, the morphological knowledge, the whole word, the meaning of vocabulary, and that will help in becoming a better reader. This is one of the papers that we have published, and it is titled Peter Effect in Reading. Does anybody know what Peter Effect in Reading? We have shown related to reading research, so one cannot give to others what he himself does not have. And what our research has shown, actually you can Google it, it is called the Peter Effect in Developing Reading Teachers, that when teacher training colleges do not provide the good reading systematic instruction to pre-service teachers, then we cannot expect free service teachers to go out and teach reading systematically.